My friends, my name is Nathan Bacal, and I am excited to announce that I am seeking to fill the vacancy for the House of Representatives in LD9. Before I start, I do just want to thank Dr. Friese for his service and his commitment to this community and to LD9 specifically. I was born and raised here in Tucson to a large and loving family of educators and public servants. It has been instilled in me since I was a child that giving back to one's community is the most honorable duty a citizen can provide. My career has been guided by those values. My first full-time position was working with the Pima County School Superintendent's Office, where I managed school board, bond, and override elections for Pima County. It was at that time that I also began my advocacy for students and teachers. Currently, working at the University of Arizona, that provides me the opportunity to earn my master's degree in education policy. As an academic advisor, I also work with students one-on-one to ensure that they achieve their academic goals. With my personal experience, and now with helping students, I have witnessed the cost of university increase yearly to the point where it is no longer affordable and it is no longer accessible. Making higher education accessible to all students is a driving passion of mine. I first became politically involved in 2014 when I volunteered for the Fred Duval gubernatorial campaign. At that time, I recognized that there was so much more that could be done to elect Democrats across Arizona. After that election, with the help and guidance of my grandfather, I was appointed to become a precinct committee person for LD9 and have become an elected PC since then. In 2016, while I was still in college, I was elected to serve as the second vice chair for LD9. In 2018, I was elected to serve as first vice chair. During those 4 years, we saw LD9 become solidly blue and grow to become one of the largest LDs in Arizona. I am seeking this appointment because there is too much at risk in this next legislative session. I appreciate this opportunity to lay out my priorities should I be appointed. Education funding and accountability. I would like to see universal pre-K, public schools, community colleges, and state universities fully funded by establishing sunset periods on tax breaks for corporations. I want to work to establish additional regulations to hold charter schools accountable and to ensure that charter schools and districts are held to the same reporting standards. I also want to ensure that all students in Arizona receive a free, appropriate public education. Currently, students who are incarcerated receive less in per pupil funding than their non-incarcerated peers. Increasing this funding throughout the state would ensure that all students have access to an equitable education. Global warming and water access. Global warming will impact our daily lives and our state budget as we continue to deal with unprecedented wildfires, heat, and drought. Rather than dealing with these climate disasters retroactively, the legislature should be taking proactive steps in preparing for these events. Like Tucson, I want to see the legislature invest more in renewable energies across Arizona, which could also lower the state's expenses. The legislature needs to focus on water conservation and ensure that all who live in Arizona continue to have access to clean water by finding new and renewable sources. In the same way that Arizona receives oil from Texas through pipelines, we can have salt water sent to Arizona for desalination and use. I also want to ensure that the rights of all Arizonans are protected. We know that the Republicans are planning on following the lead of Texas by trying to restrict abortion access. Until Democrats have a majority, we must publicly and vocally stand opposed to these attempts and use all available legislative tools to prevent these bills from becoming law. The same is true for voting rights, and as your representative, I will work to provide the county recorders with the resources needed to protect your right to vote and to ensure your access to vote. A few ideas to accomplish this goal is to reestablish the permanent early voting list and also follow the lead of Oregon by automatically registering all eligible voters in Arizona. I am grateful to have this opportunity to lay out my priorities, and I look forward to continuing this conversation with you all. My experience, education, knowledge, and service to this community qualifies me to serve in the House of Representatives. With the work that I have done previously in support of LD9, this is the next step in my service to our community. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any additional questions or would like to have a more detailed discussion about my plans for LD9 and for Arizona. Thank you.